To discuss, let's bring in our company healthcare analyst and author of The Cure, a blueprint for solving America's healthcare crisis, Seth Denson, and CPA and business analyst, and the author of Positive Financial Karma, Dan Geltrude. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Good to see you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay.
All right, well, I will be honest here. I'm always glad to see someone change their attitude for good here. And obviously, I think it's a good sign that Kamala Harris is showing that she has confidence in the vaccine after she questioned it quite a bit. It wasn't only at the vice presidential debate. It was also many other times in other interviews. But it's interesting here. What this shows you, Seth, is how politicized the vaccine became during the campaign, which is so unfortunate.
Well, it really is a shame, right? And I think what Senator Harris was hoping for was that America would have short-term memory, right? But she was right and wrong in that statement, and from the fact that Fauci said take it and Trump said take it. So, again, I guess you could argue that, well, Fauci said it, so now I'm going to take it, even though Trump said take it, now I'm not. But I don't understand. Did she think that the president was down in a lab somewhere making this vaccine? I'm lost on that.
Yeah, I'm lost on it a bit, too. Dan, the interesting thing is, as well, we do want to have public confidence in this, but when someone is questioning it so much and then, they're eager to get it, it just makes you wonder what their intention was all along. And the concern for me is, people completely want to take President Trump out of this picture and act like he had nothing to do with getting this rushed to be available like it is in less than a year. I mean, he's the one that cut the red tape for these pharmaceutical companies to make the vaccine in the first place, but no one's talking about that.
And no question about it. Look, this is all born out of Operation Warp Speed. Without that, and without President Trump pushing, we would not be in the situation that we're in. So we're not there yet. We're going in the right direction. Obviously, we have some distribution issues now. And of course, Joe Biden is jumping all over that. But I'm sure those issues will magically disappear once he assumes the office.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Andrew Cuomo, saying we won't have it here in New York, and that's where the first vaccine took place. It's so ironic. But you know what else is ironic? That the truth is coming out about China. Reports today showing actually that the Wuhan COVID case may have been 10 times higher. A study shows, we've been talking about this, how China hides stuff, and everyone was like, no, they're being honest. No, the media was not tough on China. They said they were being honest with us, and we're seeing, no, they absolutely weren't, Seth.
Yeah, listen, shocking that we can't trust numbers out of China. This is a country that regularly manipulates their currency. They control their media. They control most businesses. And for the last number of months have been reporting less than 10, 20 cases a day. I mean, this is a shock, right? But this is really sad that the media has let them off the hook on this and assumed that all of a sudden, now that they're part of the Human Rights Council, that they've got their act together and they are doing what's best for the world.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it is, Dan, it was because the right was being so tough on China. So it politically wasn't correct to be tough on China. It wasn't the cool thing to do at the time if you were a Democrat. But all of a sudden, this stuff is coming out and we're seeing how they treat their people. We're seeing that they aren't honest with us. I think it was just last week that the World Health Organization was allowed to go into China to start, looking into it, investigating where this came from almost a year out.
We need a reality check as it pertains to China. So let's be clear. China is not our friend. It's just that simple. They're the ones who put us in this situation by covering up that the virus existed in the first place. If they had been honest with the rest of the world, they would have gotten help, and we would have been able to certainly get out in front of this. But they're not that way. They're not our friend. And the real problem is we, not just the United States, but the entire world continues to allow this bad behavior. And until we do something about it, it's just going to continue. They have no consequences, Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right. They do not have consequences, and that is a real problem that we're seeing. And because people think that, oh, China's going to change eventually, they're going to get better, but they're in this for the long game. I said that so many times. They really are. Seth, got to get your take on this real quick. I thought this was interesting. A Washington Post opinion piece said that people need an immunity passport if we can open the economy. You know, it concerns me where we are headed, that the vaccine, we talk about it becoming political. It's going to become this thing that you have to carry this passport around, or I've seen people say we want a different color face mask to show that you've had the vaccine. Do you think this is realistic?
Listen, the world has a really poor history of requiring people to show symbols or carry around certain cards. That being said, I think this is something that sadly we will see the private sector respond to, in large part because Congress couldn't get its act together and provide businesses with liability protection. Because of that, they're going to have something that says, hey, we're going to reopen our doors, but we have to protect ourselves.
Yeah, Dan, I'll give you the last word, just about 10 seconds.
We don't need to have people carrying cards. Ultimately, the numbers will prove this out. As the hospitalizations and deaths come down, then we will know we're going in the right direction and we could open up the economy even more.
Yeah, we got to get those numbers down. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate your take. Have a great night.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay.